2, 3. Are we okay? Testing, testing. I think we're up. Someone says T-5 here. No, 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 no. T-0. Here we are. Oh, look at this, a crowd already. Hello, guys. Bit more traditional work here today than it was yesterday. Popcorn, what's this? You expect problems here today? I thought you needed to get popcorn when there was a bunch of problems coming. Excitement, fighting. Okay, what have we got here? This is the title label, of course, for the book. Ukiyo-e Hiro. There's a question here about how to do this. I don't know. What am I doing actually? So my paper goes in there, that goes in here. I have to cut this. I need a backboard. There's a number of different ways to spell ukiyo-e heroes. I know in English, whenever we're writing this, there's a problem of do we do it with a hyphen or without the hyphen, ukiyo/hyphen, whatever. But in Japanese, there's a different question. There's no such thing in Japanese as plurals on nouns. You know, we have this, we add the S in English, and Japanese doesn't do anything like that. A single noun and a plural noun are the same. So the word ukiyo-e hiro and ukiyo-e hiro ukiyo-e heroes has no meaning in Japanese. There's no plurals for the S's. So the title on the book is going to be Ukiyo-e Hiro, which sounds singular to Western ears, but to Japanese ears is both. It's singular and or plural. So I'm using my executive privilege this time. I'm going to put it in an inherently Japanese style, ukiyo-e hiro, even though there's 10 of them in the book. This thing's too small to hold. Printing these is so troublesome, you know, little slips of paper like this. You spend more time cutting paper and trimming paper than you do in actual printing. that way. Oh Lord. So good morning, guys. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Yes, nice peel. Straight up. Okay, how long is this going to take me this morning? Who knows? These small ones are hard to hold. Okay, let's get going. Just give me just a second to put this down. Oh, so. For those just joining or haven't been around or whatever, yesterday's stream was the first test binding on one of the books. And this slip, I've got one here, whatever. This slip, this is going to be pasted on the front cover. It'll be the cover of the book, like this, in there. The one I've decided to carve it with a box with an outline. This was a test one yesterday, just the text. I'm going to carve it with the text in a box, an outline box, just set it off a bit more. Yesterday was funny, you know. It was the first time I'd done any book binding now in well over, it's about 10 years. 2008 was when I did the binding for the Solitude series. And yesterday, I read the chat later, after the stream was over. I read the chat later. And people were calling me out all the time. I got upside down. The inside binding, I got it upside down because the tying was on the top and it should have been on the bottom. And the outside thread, I got the knot on the front and the knot should have been on the back. So in both cases, the inside and the outside, I got it upside down. It's a test run anyway, so actually I might just pop it off and resew it. Or just keep this one for myself. I've made 12. There's one for me, one for Jed, and 10 for collectors. I got them both upside down. People in the chat were noticing, and me at the bench didn't even notice, but whatever. What's the question there? Should I catch the back half of the stream or parking space 90 minutes? Today's stream is pretty much going to be the same front to back. I'm just going to start carving this calligraphy. So you're going to see pretty much the same thing through the course of this stream. There's no dramatic finale here. I won't get it finished all in the first 90 minutes. So I'm just going to keep carving until Kawai-san or Teiko-san gets here. And then we're going to get the shop ready. So there's nothing special going on here that you won't see. You can see it at the beginning or see it at the end. Knife looks okay. All right, let's just do this thing. These small blocks are hard to hold. It's so much nicer when there's a big block on the table. I keep meaning to make some kind of jig that'll hold the little blocks, but it's always on the tomorrow, next day list. So. Am I on camera? I didn't check. What should I do here? Is that a good location? Do we need to zoom in? I think we're good to go. When I'm done with this morning, I'll send it to the printers upstairs. They can start printing these things. They're not going to be so excited about this. It means getting ready just for a job of printing 10 or 12 sheets of little paper, you know. It's just troublesome for them. But anyway, they'll do what they're told. So, and for me, the rest of the day today is going to be working on the new paper. We're still buried in tests on the new paper. sizing. It's behaving really so different from the paper we've had for many years. We expected this. And although, it looks good, quote unquote, we're really going to have to figure out how to make it work. One main problem, Sugi-san was testing some yesterday. She put some sheets of the new paper into the batch along with the prints she's making of the Trial of Strength, the first of those boss fights. And she had a lot of trouble with it because the paper is a little bit softer in tone than the old paper, and it sags a bit more. So whatever block depth, whatever carving depth was worked out to match the previous paper is turning out to be unsuitable for this new paper, or at least the way we've got it sized at present. So she was struggling, lots and lots of black marks coming all over the place. And at the moment, she doesn't like it. She's a little bit afraid that we're going to switch to this paper and that her work is going to become really more difficult. It's not just so black and white. We'll work out a way how to use it. So. But at the moment, it's very different. It's very much softer, and it's sagging on the box. So. But it's taking color. It's absorbing the color, okay, which is the main thing. Just a bit of oil here. Too much is no good. Oh, I know, there's questions from yesterday. When I was doing that book tying yesterday, it was really sort of fiddly work, not the normal work that I can just sort of half concentrate on. So I didn't catch the questions. I heard the question noise, but didn't go over and see them. So I should have a look at those now. I see what's in the question box left over from yesterday. Hang on a second. Let's just get. I like this, carving curves. This is not Jed's calligraphy. I know we're carving here. This is just standard. I know. Standard calligraphic computer font for this. Okay, let's see what's in that question box before I forget again. Questions, Twitch questions. Oh, there's 3 from yesterday. Oh, talking about the paper supply. Okay, well, we're just talking about that now. Koi ori. Okay, question from yesterday. I know about the bookmaking. There was the parts of what I was doing. I know I used a small slip of thin paper, which I rolled into a sort of a piece of paper string. And the Japanese name for that object, after it's been made, the thin piece of paper string, is koyori. Koyori. I guess I didn't pronounce it very well yesterday. It sounded like koi ori, folded fish. It didn't make any sense. So it's koyori. And I don't know the derivation or what the kanji is. I'm sorry, I don't know. I only know it by sound. Koyori, Koyori in romanization, koyori. Another question. Yeah, okay. The methodology we used yesterday, I tied the book core separately first and then put the covers on the outside. And somebody's asking, this is yesterday, somebody's asking in yesterday's question box, why do I do it separately? He said he's been making books for a long time, doing them together. And, well, I don't, I'm not any means of an expert on bookmaking here. All I know is that what I've done in my own collection, I've repaired lots of books that I have in my own collection from the old times. Like I said yesterday while we were doing that, threads break, they get worn, books come apart all the time. So I've got older books in my collection that you bought cheaply because they're all in tatters. And take it apart, inspect how it was made, and then fix it. And most of the books that I have in my collection from the late Edo or Meiji era are made that way. The central section was tied first with string, a paper string, and then the covers were bound on separately. So I did a bit more research, found out that was indeed a standard way of doing things, and I used that for my own books. My guess is perhaps in a simpler setup or a cheaper setup, or when there's perhaps not going to be so much stress on the thing, the core and the covers can be made all in one piece. So it's not that it can't be done that way. I've just chosen to follow the method I see in most of the books. Like, for example, I got some Hokusai manga and stuff like this. And they're made exactly that way. The core is tied first, and then the covers go on separately. So it's not that it can't be done, but whatever. That's the way I chose to do it. It's fun. I haven't carved calligraphy for quite a while. I don't remember when the last time I did something like this. It's also funny, we're going to carve this block for making 10 books. That's it. It's a bit silly when you think about it, But whatever, if people are paying a bunch for these books, we'd like to make them a sort of collector's item, that kind of stuff. So there's no point in scrimping on it, even though the quantity is low. They're quite a high-class little item, I think. It's worth spending the time on. Carving a block that's only going to be used like 10 times is a bit silly, maybe. I don't know. Oh, somebody's kami yori, ko yori. Right, good, good. Thank you, thank you. Yeah, I'm complaining here about having to carve 7 characters on the cover of this book, but of course, books were carved totally, absolutely, completely by hand. All the interior of all the books back in the old days, all the text, the images. I've got a bunch in my collection, and they are so much fun, I've got to do a David's Choice video about some of those. They're just so cool, those books. We were told that there were carvers back then that specialized in calligraphy, guys that just that was their job, just carving text for books, I guess same as if you think, when I was a kid, I remember we took a visit one day to a newspaper office where they were doing all the, production for a physical newspaper. And they had what were called, is the linotype machines, is that the word? Guys would sit at this keyboard in front of a giant, huge machine. And they would type all the text of the stuff that was going in that day's newspaper. And it made type. Lead slugs and stuff were moving around in the machine, and metal was pouring here and there. And it made actual physical type for the plates to be printed, So the guys sat there typing all the newspaper, 6, 7, 8 guys in a row. We sort of laugh at that now, having to type the whole newspaper each morning, each night. But it was all carved. The old woodblock books were just carved. Every single character was carved. And they must have been so fast. And it was small, tiny stuff, not like I'm doing here, large size. Maybe that should be the next David's Choice video. Like when? There's something in the question box. Thank you. I should grab it before I forget, right? What's my limit? 10 seconds, 15 seconds? Okay, I can't answer. It's a question to follow up on the paper thing again. I know when we were talking about the paper a few days ago, doing the paper testing, I mentioned that the paper we had received was very, very different in one sense from the samples. That the thin paper was even thinner than the samples, and the thicker paper was even thicker than the samples. And the question just in the box right now is asking, what did the papermaker say about this? I haven't called him yet. And what I want to do is I got to get my ducks in a row before I call him. And we're still testing this paper. I'm still trying different sizing mixtures. And tonight, not tonight, but this afternoon, when I'm off the stream here and when this block is finished, I'm going back upstairs to do some more sizing. So I'm not ready to talk to him yet. I got to get I got to learn what's going on. One of the main questions I'm going to ask him is if the paper can be more consistent. Of course, that's really the most important question. But first, I've got to figure out, my end of this. In order to speak to him sensibly, I've got to get some experience with this paper. So no, not yet. Answer to the question, I haven't talked to the guy yet. It won't be today. I'll be sizing tonight. So maybe we have enough results after tonight's sizing, then tomorrow test it. I still have all the confidence in the guy. There's no fight going on here. Maybe actually he just misplaced the sample we left or something, or I don't know. No idea. We'll see. I think the relationship between us is going to be something that takes place over many, many years. So. We'll sort it out. These characters here, they're just about the right size. They're big and fat enough, so there's good feeling on the curves. You can catch all the little nuances, When they're too small, it's so much of a struggle just to try and get the shape of them. I don't know what about. Why? Excuse me. Kanji study, eh? My days for that sort of thing are long past me, you know. Before I came to Japan, I tried some language study. You know, the first step, the flashcards for the kana, hiragana, katakana, and I made some for some basic kanji. I was thinking I should study the language. But, you know, since I've got here, I've never done that. You know, all the newer generation who come now, people like Cameron, you know, they've studied in college over there and they speak and write Japanese much better than I do. Well, I'm not sure about Cameron speaking it, but he writes it much better than I do. Because they've taken the time to study and write. And me, my Japanese learning, all of it, the listening, hearing, writing, whatever, it's all just been by the seat of my pants, and I've never actually studied it, so. So in the classical classroom sense, I'm no good at that stuff at all. I get around, I can read my way around town, the signs, the train stations. People send letters, I can read them. But if you give me the newspaper, I can't sit down and read the whole newspaper. It's not a chance. My reading is about maybe a middle school level or something, I guess. I don't know. Someone like me, the learning is patchy. The example we use when we're talking about this is you think about a pointillistic painting, that style of painting where they make the picture out of dots. And there's dot, dot, dots, and when you stand back, the whole picture becomes clear. And you think of a kid in school here, he learns kanji number 1, kanji number 2, kanji number 3. And they learn at a specific progress. They learn X hundred the first year, the next group the next year, up to, till they graduate from school. Someone like me who's never gone through that process, I learn them in a random fashion. Learn stuff that's related to Hanga or things like that. So my knowledge of Japanese written language is pointillistic in that sense. I know this one over here, and that one over there, and this one over here. But I don't have the full repertoire because I didn't sit there in a classroom and go through them. So there's stuff I can read and stuff I can't read. I don't bother. At this stage in life now, my job is not to learn how to read the newspaper. My job is to do this. The other funny thing too is younger Japanese now, this is not an excuse for my own lack of skill, but it is a transformation. Young Japanese now are really, really poor at reading and writing. You see it all the time, and because I don't have the training in writing. What was it? It was a couple of years back or something. I had a package to send, and there was nobody else here to write the label, so I just took the package to the package delivery service, and I knew the address to be able to speak it. It was going to whatever, Nagabuchi Hachome, blah, 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 blah. So I asked the clerk, like a college student or whatever, to write it. I would speak it, and she'd write it. And we could talk to each other. She understood what I was saying, but she didn't know the actual form, how to write the particular characters in the address I was giving her. And it wasn't anything strange and bizarre. So she had to get out her phone, and we had to look it up. And I'm saying, yeah, that's the one. Cool. So once she'd seen it, she could write it, but she didn't remember how to make the strokes. Sort of what seemed like a normal kid, a normal college graduate. So clearly the world here is absolutely changing, I'm not being a Luddite here. The kids these days, they can't read and write, Simply the particular skill set that you need to get through life is clearly changing. So I walked away from that one feeling a little less guilty about the fact that I couldn't write the character, That's an open question. Do we need, are the machines going to do it for us, or do we need to remember these things ourselves? I don't know. This is zooming along, Wow, I might actually finish this. Character count's not that much. The basic set on Joyo Kanji, I think, is 1860 characters. It's been decreasing. The number's been decreasing year by year by year. Not every year, but every now and then they reevaluate and they cut some out. Joyo Kanji 2136? I thought it was down to 1860. Are you sure that's the latest data? It's more, I don't know, it's a bit more complicated than it seems there. When you talk about the Joyo Kanji, whatever the number is, 1800 or 2000 or whatever, that's just the raw character count. But what really makes it more complicated is the combinations. Jukugo, you take two kanji together and making up a word. And that's when things start to multiply like crazy, because they're not always quite as logical as they look, when you're teaching English to kids in school or something, you start to show them how English words are sometimes made up of roots. What's an example? Telephone, distance, and phone, phonic sound. Distance sound and stuff. And that's how a lot of the kanji compounds work, but not all of them by far. So the multiplication. It's not just simply, I got those 2,000 memorized, I'm good to go. It doesn't work like that. There's a question. What's the question? Well, someone's asking about Cameron. Cameron will be here today, yeah. He'll be here probably around 9 o'clock. What's his position? I don't know what to call him. I don't know. For those of you who've been with us for a while, you'll know that Cameron's position with her dates back about back to the spring, last spring. I guess it was May, when I was just getting just flooded. I just almost ready to give up. I can't say give up the work, but a crisis on my own way of using my work and my time here. The managing functions of my job, everything from bookkeeping to controlling the printer's flow, who's going to do the work next and who's going to do what should we post on Facebook, and just all the million things to do here that our management sort of functions were taking over, and I was never able to get back to my bench. The Octopus print project had been sleeping for 6 months without me touching the blocks, and there seemed to be no way to get around this, because I could not put that work away. I had to do that work day after day after day after day. But also back then, at the first half of last year, the first half of 2017, we were chronically short of money. We're selling prints well. We're doing okay. We had a good subscription roster, and we were, selling prints in the shop. It had been a very busy spring. But the production costs ate up everything that came in. So the paradox was that we were doing okay, but I had no time to get back to my own work, but there was no time to hire somebody, no money to hire somebody to do all of those other works, or a huge number of those other works. So the idea was to go to Patreon. I went to Patreon, made a proposal to the people there. I'd like you to help by, putting the Patreon money in a hat, which I will use to hire a person to take away a huge amount of my office type, not print production related type jobs. In other words, we didn't need to hire a printer, not a carver. We needed to hire somebody who could just do a huge amount of those other jobs of mine. I wasn't ready to say we need a manager who's going to run the place. We just needed somebody to share my workload. So Patreon went along with it. We quickly, within a few weeks, had a few hundred Patreons. The money was there on the table. So I went looking, and Cameron's the guy who turned up. He was working for a travel company up in northwestern Japan. And not so, well, whatever, he wanted to change jobs. And he lived here for 3 years. He's acclimatized to Japan. His wife is here. They have had a baby here. He was looking for work in Japan because they like it here, want to continue and stay. And he seemed personable and competent and computer literate and literate enough to answer emails and stuff. So he came on board to do this, and we're not sure what to call him. I don't think he's the manager here because he's not so doing management in the sense of directing the activities of the company and stuff like that. You can't say he's a Dave's Workshare person. He's Dave's Man Friday. That's not true. So we don't know what actual title to use. And in any case, the job is flexible, and he's going to grow into it or not as time goes by. But in the short term, now he's been here for 3 months, 4 months, he has taken a ton of functions away from me. He now does he replies to all the mail that comes in, the orders, the inquiries, when can I get the Great Wave and all that sort of stuff and everything. He does all the order punching in, all the basic, not bookkeeping in the sense of, adding up all the columns stuff, but he does the payroll, all that sort of stuff. He's also worked with Aoyama-san, the other right-hand man here, and they together have finally, after we've been procrastinating for years, they finally put together a Japanese website for Mokuhankan. And that's up online now. It's totally different from the English website. If you were curious, you can go and Google it or go and access it, mokuhankan.jp. And it's not a clone of the English website. It's completely different, and we're going to have a different focus. And the two of them have finally got that up and running. So where is he going to go from here now that those things are sort of under his belt? The funny thing is, in fact, we talked about this just yesterday. He's doing, everything he's doing now is stuff that I used to be doing up until the time he came. And he is busy morning till night, never finished each day by the time he gets out of here. And yet I still am now busy morning till night, never finished each day. So all of a sudden, two full-time people are busy like crazy doing the same work that one full-time guy was doing up until Cameron came. And he just looks at me and says, how did you do this? And I'm like, well, yeah, I did it. He's also a nice guy, so which helps. Well, the Japanese website looks new and it's modern, and you say the English one could use the same makeover. But, the Japanese one, as of yet, has received one order in the few weeks that it's been open. The English website does literally hundreds of thousands of dollars a year in orders and business. Literally. That's not something you muck around with very lightly. My own the website I made looks clunky, it looks old-fashioned, you might have lots of complaints about it, but orders are pouring through it, and hundreds of thousands of dollars. Last year we did 47 million yen, which in US dollar terms is what, $350,000 or something, I don't know, nearly 47 million yen, so that's like well over $400,000. And that all comes through that website of mine, the clunky, old-fashioned website that people love to complain about. So it's not something that I'm in any hurry to turn upside down and reorganize and toss out and whatever. So I gave the boys a free hand with the Japanese website because we were doing nothing on the Japanese side. And whatever they did was going to be better than nothing. But in no way am I in any hurry to revolutionize the Western side, the English website. Because it's working. Okay, there's the carving on ukiyo-e. Let's go for the katakana section. Ukiyo-e-hiro. The website. So it could be better. Absolutely, absolutely. I'm not saying that it can't be improved, but I'm not going to scuttle it. Absolutely. Also, too, when you say the old website, there's two. It's the woodblock.com, which was my own personal collection of websites, and then there's the mokuhankan.com, which grew out of it a few years ago. And the biggest single problem with it, which I have to fix, is getting it more responsive, mobile friendly. Absolutely. It's a huge deficit with my websites. I've got to fix it, and I know. It's on the list. So my previous comments that nothing's going to change, no. That's not the case. We're going to try and get it more modernized. But my point was that I'm not going to let the boys just junk it and build something new. Not like that. It's going to be an evolution rather than a revolution. The Japanese one, we simply junked it and started again. But that's not what's going to happen on the Western side. So. Finding a platform is the trouble, There's so many platforms that come and go. A bit too much oil there. It's okay. Should be all right. The thing about redoing the website, I've sort of been through this myself some years ago, and it's about 6 or 7 years ago now, I guess, when I did. I thought it was time for a total redesign and a total revolution of the website, and I did. I built a new version. The Mokuhankan website actually now exists in 2 pretty much completely different versions. And I made a big conceptual mistake. I sat down and tried to design the website as a widescreen concept. You open the screen on your browser, instead of clicking through to page to page to page, everything you wanted to see opened within the same page rather than clicking and back and forward and back and forward. I did that, of course, just about the same time that Steve Jobs stood up on stage and waved that thing around and said, "Here's the new big thing, the iPhone." The point being, I missed the mobile revolution. I didn't see that coming at all. I built a new, big, expansive, comprehensive desktop website just before the world ran in the other direction. So that website's still there. They're both online together. If you just typed into your browser mokuhankan.com with nothing else, you get to a default page which allows you to choose between a widescreen browser version of the website and a normal version of the website. And the widescreen one I thought was really so cool. Just there's tabs and things click inside and it opens up together, and I just really thought it was a wonderful design. Simply it was the wrong thing in the wrong place in the wrong time. So it's still there, but both sides are still active, and using my own CMS system. They both get updated when new prints come in and stuff. But it's totally not responsive, pointless on a mobile. I was so proud of that. Building a dinosaur. Well, we're nearly 9. Must be time for people to start coming in, right? Cameron should be first. And today, Teiko-san's supposed to be here. It's Thursday, but she's off today. Her mother's not well, so she's at home taking care of her mother. So it'll be Kawai-san. Unusual. He's usually not here on Thursdays, but he'll be here today. This is nice wood, dry, crispy. It's the leftover scrap. Where did they get it? Ah, it's the Henry manga. The label I carved for the front of the Henry manga book. It's the back side. Sokka. Yeah, searching on the website is terrible. Yes, I understand. I agree. Absolutely. Yep. Yeah, 21 years, the website. I went online in, 1997, I guess July 1997, the first version of the first website. 1997. I think I got connected in 1996, mucking about with email and this and that. And I think the first website was up in summer of 97. I'm older than Google. $19.97. God. There's pages in that woodblock.com website that haven't been changed since then too, you know. It's cool. You look inside, there's no CSS on those early ones. Either CSS didn't exist or whatever. It was just in diapers. And there's stuff like, you know, font size +2 and stuff like this and whatever. It was fun, you know, whatever. It was fun. But some of that, I think, I remember, there's pages in there that say, built with Claris Homepage version 2 or something like this. Then I gave up on the frameworks and just started coding it all by hand. It was much better that way. And now for most of our internal website, we've got websites that you guys don't see. Our internal management and stuff runs on an internal website. It's not publicly accessible. You know, database-driven website, and that's, we have our own CMS for that. I built a CMS system which runs our internal website. And one more character left. And then I got to do the border. Okay, border. Ooh. Optimized for Netscape Navigator. Does it say that? I don't think so. Really? Have you found a page that says that? I hope not. I hope not. Let me know if that's true, eh? Actually, I don't think it must be in there because I don't think I ever did that sort of thing. I tried to keep it, I don't know, browser independent. But those old days, my God, Explorer 5 and I don't even remember the numbers, Navigator 3.1 and stuff, you know. You try and write code that would work on both of them. It wasn't possible. God. Although having said that now, there's the same problem is coming back now. I find lots of websites now no longer work on Safari. This Twitch, I can't use Safari for Twitch, and I can't use Safari for Patreon. They both need Google Chrome. And at one of my banks, it doesn't work on Safari. It's Google Chrome or nothing. It seems that Google Chrome is becoming the default browser these days. Oops, got a bit too fat. Come on, trim it down. Let's go. Okay, let's bang a bit. No big deal here, just some light tapping today. We don't need to worry about noise alerts and noise warning. This thing is so small. It's so small, there's going to be no massive tapping here. carving says, it's the ukiyo-e, floating world pictures, ukiyo-e hiro, ukiyo-e heroes. It's the label that's going to go, I had a sample of the book, it's the label that's going to go on the front cover of the new ukiyo-e heroes book, just in this position here. Okay, just some light tapping, as I said. Don't need to worry about your headphones, I don't think. I'm wandering. Keep in the same place here. This is like Maida-san in that Hasui video a few weeks back. Remember? He was trying to hold the block with one hand. Shouldn't muck around too close here. That'll do it for the inside, I think. Oh, I cut the outside after I've cut the inside of the line. I want to be able to see the width, so. Good, zoom back in. Where's my starting point here? Where are we? Oh, wait, there's a frame. Oh, we're dropping. Soka, what's happening here? Ow. I'm showing many dropped frames. Not sure what's happening here. Not sure. Whatever. Oh, it's not dropping anymore right now, but it was dropping there, I think, for quite a while. I don't know what's happened. Is it interference at this end from my other programs or something? No, it's something at this end, I think. I'm not sure. It seems to be okay at the moment. I don't really know. I'm sorry. I've killed other software in the background here. There's no backup running. I'm showing a green light. I think I'm back to normal, but there was a problem at this end, I'm sure. Sorry. Whatever, I'll just keep working here. I'm sorry if there's been a problem. This must be Cameron, but morning, sir. And the extreme went down about, I guess, 5 minutes ago or so. I'm not really sure.
Before I came in?
Before you came in, so I don't know.
Uh-oh.
It's showing green now. I've got a big green light showing, but there's a bunch of dropped frames. So at some point, a few minutes ago, it was having trouble.
I've been lurking in the shadows.
Yeah, you're waiting outside. Is that the idea? So yeah. I don't know. So. It's too bad. It was steady and smooth, and we were chatting well. I was even keeping track of what was going on out there, but now it's all gone to hell. I'm sorry. So
that's too bad. I'm gonna drop some things down, and then I can come back over here for the last little bit.
Okay, like. Sure. Okay. Cameron's gone upstairs a minute, drop his bag and stuff. He's coming back down. Say hello. Just a minute. Train okay this morning?
No, it was delayed again. But I didn't even get a card this time. I didn't ask. I was like, I've already got a collection. I don't need to start my own trading card set or something.
I don't know what's with the stream. The first hour or so, just fine. I was looking down then, reading comments and chatting, and it was all okay. Then last time I looked up about 10 minutes ago, the green icon was flashing red. And it was dropped frames.
It's red again?
It's red again.
Wow.
So I've closed everything in the background.
Green again.
I can't close Chrome because Chrome is running the chat.
Right.
So,
yeah. Dropped red, going back up.
nothing else. The other computer's asleep, unless I don't know what's going on upstairs.
Everything was asleep, and I don't have anything on. Good morning, everyone. It's not a slideshow or anything, just the occasional dramatic pause.
So...
Huh. Is the computer on Wi-Fi or Ethernet right now? It looks like
right
Wi-Fi.
now it's Wi-Fi, so...
Yeah. But it looks like it's being solid again. Nope. Okay. Keeps starting and stopping. Huh. Someone asked if you ever had a tool break mid-carving, then another already answered for you. It happens often, but usually just the tip. Anything you want to add to that? Or?
Well, the tip does break, so... just sharpen it. No, I'm not sure what to say. So we've had that happen. Not in the last couple of weeks, but yeah. In the early days of streaming, actually, it happened. I think in the first few days that I was streaming, it sort of happened every day. And,
Oh, no.
I felt like a bit of an idiot, but recently it's been okay.
Oh, that's good. It's going up. Let's see what's going on. Huh. Someone got banned for something. I'm looking up.
Hmm?
Someone got banned.
What do you mean banned? There's no mods on the stream. It's only me that can do that.
So the print making bot banned somebody.
Oh yeah, Nick, the guy who's doing making the bot, he has mod powers.
Okay.
In order to build a bot, he
Right.
needs mod powers.
Yeah.
So
I guess something was going on earlier.
Really?
But huh.
what while we were down for that, you mean, or something? I don't know.
No, it was way back, and now it says all the messages were deleted. Well, oh well. Okay.
All the messages were deleted. What?
Yeah, by that person, it just says message deleted. It's the first time I've ever seen that happen.
I have
Someone's
no idea.
asking.
So has something happened? Has there been a... Okay, whatever. I'll have a look later, I guess.
Yeah, someone saying, is the ban permanent? Well, I don't know. I don't know anything about that. You had to. Okay. Well, I hope everything's okay. Sorry, I was just scrolling up, wanted to see. Let's see. Have I snapped any nice photos of snowy Tokyo?
Too busy working.
Yeah. I went on a walk around the neighborhood to take a video for the new Mokuhankan Instagram that Francis Hanga is bringing up. It's going to be mostly in Japanese, or almost entirely in Japanese, because we're trying to reach more Japanese people. And from asking around, we found Instagram's really, really popular here. So we're trying to have a little bit of a presence there. So we just started it. So there's only one picture. So there's not much to see yet, but I've got some footage that I'm hoping to turn into a short thing. So there'll be a story there. If you want to find it.
What's the name? Is it just Mokuhankan?
Yeah, it's just instagram.com/Mokuhan.
In Romaji, no.
Right, yeah. I hope that
But
works.
Instagram's picture, so the language doesn't matter much,
right.
does it?
No, the language doesn't matter much. You can add comments and things, so I'll have minor descriptions taken from the website or asking the staff to help out and make sure things sound native.
An Instagram page isn't really language-based.
Yeah, it's mostly just photos, so
okay.
Yeah. Good. Oh, thanks for the follow. Let's see. Yeah, probably a cable connection. You're right, would steady the stream a little bit. So we've used it before, especially for that really long day. But what is that connection down again?
No, it's right there. The problem is the wire runs across the floor, so I don't leave it there all day long. Because,
because we had people tripping over it.
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah, I suspect other software on my machine, but I don't know where.
Okay.
There's nothing else using the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, not anything technical.
Good morning.
Hi, Simon.
Good morning.
Come and say hello.
How are you?
Unusual.
Good.
何テコさんの代わりですか今日。
あ、そうです。なんか、あるみたいな。教育とか、お母さん。みたいです。
Please don't make me get an Instagram. You don't need one to look at the pictures. You can just pull up the page, I think.
Yeah, the reason I avoided it is just too much. Enough, I can't do and run every social media platform in town.
Yeah.
So I avoided Instagram and Twitter because I don't want to do trying to think of smart things to say. I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
So it's not my stuff.
Yeah.
But you go ahead with it. Whatever you want to set up here. Go ahead.
The frames might be bad, but at least the wood still sounds nice and crunchy.
It's okay. It's not doing wrong.
It's been going up and down the bit rate.
We're nearly done. Okay. Jeff, for tomorrow then I'll wire it up tomorrow.
Okay.
So.
Sounds good.
Kawai-san, say hello to the gang.
Hello. Good morning.
かわいいですね。
はい。てか、絵文字ってある。
Okay. Maybe start sharing prints from the flea market on it. Hey, that's a good idea.
On Instagram?
Yeah, on Instagram.
Okay,
so come into our shop and pick it up.
Yes, but there is a problem with this. The reason why the flea market hasn't been bigger on the website.
Right.
With our own prints, we publish them. We know what they're going to look like. We can scan one.
Yeah.
We don't have to scan every single one that we make. We just scan one. It's a sample for the thing. The flea market's one by one, and they have maybe a bit of whatever. There's a hole in one of the prints, or there's a badly printed section, or we have to scan.
Fold or
a little fold, or it's mounted on the back, or there's a stain or something.
Yeah.
So every one of them has to be really carefully presented and scanned and uploaded and described and whatever. And then you sell it and it's gone. You take it all down and start again.
Yep. So an hour's labor just burned in a second.
Yes. Now, if they were $500 items, that's okay. You can do that. But we're trying to keep, find nice, reasonably priced items. Mm-hmm. Maybe $30, $40, $50, $60, $70. Yeah. And that limits how many hours we can spend doing it.
Right. Right.
And it's something that all just came back to my bench. Nakamura-san was helping me with it. She'd scan a bunch of them, get the files ready, get it ready to upload, and waiting for me to come in. And I've now got to come in. I've got to describe this. So I've got to do some research, find out what this print is, who this kabuki actor is, what's going on. You just can't say, here's a print. People want to know what it is. What's the play? Who's the kabuki actor? Who's the designer? When was it made? You can't just sell blank pieces of paper.
Right.
And it's a ton of research and a ton of time. So whatever, that's in a nutshell, that's why the flea market isn't more present online.
Right.
because there's only one of each one, and the setup time is staggering.
Yeah. Cameron should make a Twitch account. What would I do a Twitch account about?
Say something interesting, you mean?
Yeah. I'm in here and don't know what I would even do.
The reason I myself avoided Twitch was not because I'm dumb and have nothing to say. It's because I wanted to. It seemed that most company Twitch accounts, rather than personal Twitch accounts,
Wait,
were
Twitch or Twitter?
Twitter. Twitter.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
That's
I'm sorry.
okay.
Excuse me. Twitter.
That's okay. They both start with the same first part.
So they just ended up, just full of announcement. Here's a new print. Something's on sale. Just blah blah blah. I don't want. Who needs that noise? So.
Yeah.
Twitter. Yeah. Sorry about the computer.
No, that's okay. But pictures of the flea market would still be nice. Yeah, I think I could take pictures of it. I just don't have to make a whole online sale presentation of it. Yeah. Cameron rides the train on Twitch. Oh, delayed again. Got my little card showing how late we are today. Question for Dave. Have you ever done any lino cuts or only wood?
No, I've never done that stuff. Sorry,
Okay.
no, not through any. Just never did it. Not because I don't like it or something. Just whatever. I started with wood, and here I am.
Yeah.
It's a whole different concept. The opaque pigments, oil-based opaque pigments, as opposed to water-based transparent pigments. The whole concept is dramatically different. It's not just a question of the material you're carving is different. The whole concept of the way the pigments stack up and everything is different. For me, the beauty of these things is this Japanese washi with the transparent pigments layering on top, and in lino cut you just don't get that. So.
Yeah. On Instagram, show what Dave eats. Food is big on Instagram.
Do not. This is another reason why I didn't want to do that.
No.
Go out and shoot your dinner and stuff like this.
Yeah.
So, and even here in the shop, we if you think about what we're supposed to do as people trying to do promotion in the shop, we should have an Instagram wall where people can come in, do the quick shot with something interesting behind them, so they can make a selfie and post about it.
Right.
I just avoided that whole thing.
Yeah. Although the graduation photo can work for that.
Yeah, but given 3 years of doing that, almost nobody says, I'm going to Instagram this straight away. So. Or even every day, the people who take selfies with me, there's 3 of them yesterday. YouTube viewers came in and took pictures and stuff.
Right.
Did they go onto Instagram? I don't know, because I don't hear about that.
Right.
I know. Insta thing is what put me off it, just whatever. But anyway, go for it.
Okay. Does he eat or does he draw life force directly from the wood chip?
Come on, enough of this stuff.
Yes, he eats.
Anna Williams here next week, and I guess I'm not sure he's on the stream. We can chat about it.
Yeah, he's been in here a little
so
bit.
He's I think he's saying he's not a vegetarian, but he didn't eat meat. I think was the discussion that came up. So here in Asakusa, there's not so many vegetarian restaurants. There are a couple, but he's going to be here for a month. We can't go to the same restaurant every night.
Yeah.
It's going to be fun having him around. I think I chatted with him on Skype last night.
Oh, good. How's he doing?
He's getting ready to come. What? T-minus 1 week.
Yeah, it's coming up. Francis Hanga's in here.
So we had one disappointment on the stream. He said he's going to have Wi-Fi on the plane. I guess he's on one of the modern planes that has Wi-Fi. And as it happens during the time he's in the air, it's Twitch time, my Twitch time.
Oh.
So he said he was really looking forward to dropping in on commenting on the stream from the airplane. But unfortunately, he's coming on Tuesday.
Oh no!
He's coming on Tuesday. I won't be streaming while he's in the air.
Yeah.
So So that was going to be cool, drop in from 30,000 feet up,
Right.
On Dave's stream, but there ain't going to be one that day. So.
Yeah.
So I suggested they take over. You do it. You stream from the airplane. Take something up there with a block. Just to take your knives on the airplane. Good luck
great
on that
idea.
one. So.
Not a great idea.
Wood carving from your seat.
Hello from Japan. Isane Kotetsu, maybe? Kotetsu. Yes, we are in Japan. We're in Asakusa, Tokyo, as you already pointed out. And this... Oh, I think they're asking if this is for a shrine door. Can't see the whole thing. It looks kind of like one of those...
Senshafta. No. What this is, I've got the book here.
Yeah.
I'll zoom back out a bit. We're publishing a book of ukiyo-e-hero's prints. There's woodblock prints bound together in book form. And there's going to be a cover for it. This is the first sample I made yesterday. And we're going to be putting on the cover the name, ukiyo-e-hero's, will be a label to go on the cover. And that's a paper mock-up. This is a carved block. And we will print these and paste them on the front of the book. So,
Thanks.
so it looks like an old fuda, an old senshafta, but it's not. It's just a cover of a book label.
Yeah. And is it going to be black ink as well?
Just black. Yeah.
Okay.
Just black. Or you want a special mic or something? No, just black.
Great. Okay. Oh, yep. Sunny says, I'm a Miko, a Shinto shrine priestess, so that's why she was asking.
Interesting. So,
Yeah.
Well,
Welcome to the stream.
I guess she could tell us then, in old days, people put those fuda all over, temple gates and shrine gates. But recently, they're all saying signs, no, don't do this. It's not permitted anymore.
Right.
I guess it's just because it's too messy to keep clean all the time. I don't know the background,
Yeah. Why is that? Why can't we put, or why can't people put up the senshafta anymore? So instead of watching your stream, Francis Hanga is going to stream himself watching a movie 5 times in a row.
But actually, on the airplane, there is Wi-Fi, quote unquote, on the airplane, but enough to run a stream. I would be very doubtful about that, unless he's like super first class, executive super first. And I paid for the ticket. Is that what I bought?
Yeah.
So.
Here's a private jet only for him. We got a couple questions. I was wondering how Dave learned programming. Is it mostly self-taught?
Yeah, of course, self-taught back in the old days when it was magazines and this and that. The first machine I worked on was a PDP-7 in the middle 1970s, late 1970s. And I rented time on a PDP-7.
Oh, wow.
To learn how to do this. I had the idea that it would be useful for our business. This wasn't printmaking back when I worked in a music store.
Oh, right.
I wanted to learn how. This was just before micros. This was still the era of mini computers, what they used to call mini computers. And just while I was learning on that, it'd be 1978 or 79, that's when the first micro revolution started, before Microsoft and all that stuff. So yeah, self-taught. Assembler. It's great. You start with assembler, that's it. Everything else after that looks so easy. These kids these days, whatever, blah, blah, blah. But yeah,
wow.
You learn some pretty fundamental stuff doing it that way,
Mm-hmm.
about trying to make things work as quickly and as optimized as possible. And these days, working in a super high-level language, you forget the resources underneath it. And just
Yeah. Let's see. Cameron, do you speak to Dave in Japanese? Occasionally we switch into Japanese, usually when we're in a conversation with lots of the
other
other
people.
staff.
So,
Yeah.
so together, of course, we speak English. Absolutely. There's no question about it. So no.
Yep.
It's a second language for both of us.
Right. It's just easier to communicate in English.
Yeah.
But in groups, we tend to switch all into Japanese.
How's the time? Because I think I better get to the party at 10.
It's actually 9:37, but I thought you might be finishing this up.
No, I can't get that far.
Okay.
I don't want to rush this from you that far.
Okay.
Just a minute. All the lines are cut. I'm clearing. It'll be finished in another hour or so, but I can't.
Can't do another hour right now.
No. I better get to the party. There's a group of 3 Australians coming at 10, and me and Kawai-san are going to do it together. So
fine.
I think that's all for today. So, all right, sir.
All right.
Let's see, tomorrow's stream will be, I'm not quite sure. I might just actually leave this on my bench and pick it up later. So I might be finishing this tomorrow and doing some test printing on it, or I might be doing something else. I have absolutely no idea.
Okay.
There will be something.
Sounds good.
There will be something.
Wrap up then.
I still have to do bookmaking. Yesterday I made one book as sort of a sample, but I have to actually make the books. So that'll be happening too over the next few days. So streaming for the next few days might be, playing with this label. It might be making more books. If it is making more books, I won't do it the way I did it yesterday, taking one book start to finish. It'll just be, for example, making Coyote for 1 hour or something like this, or whatever.
Yeah.
It'll be the production process.
Okay.
But that might be happening over the next few days. So. Other than that, I've got to get to work, so say goodbye to these nice people and sign this off, please, Cameron and Sarah.
Thank you, everyone, for coming. And we will see you next time.
I apologize for the stream problems, the drop frames. We'll try and sort that out.
Yeah. See if we can get the
I'll wire it in tomorrow.
The connection better tomorrow. Okay, thanks.